Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for October 7th, 2019, with your host, Peaceworker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
We are doing TGSR on a Monday. It is weirdly nostalgic to do a stream on a Monday for me. Because I'm used to talking wrestling on a Raw stream, like a Monday stream. It also helped that since we delayed last night, I got to watch the pay-per-view last night. I love when WWE makes stupid, dumb decisions that make people angry.
So, all the time?
Yes.
Okay.
How would you like your main event Hell in a Cell match to end in a DQ? When Hell in a Cell matches do not have DQs. That's the point of a Hell in a Cell match, is there is no DQ.
I don't even.
Especially as when someone pointed out on Twitter, Seth Rollins was DQ'd for trying to kill a man. I'm sorry, Taker tried to kill the same man twice in the same match and was not DQ'd. One of those was an accident. That was the throwing off the top of the cell through the announce table and through the cell into the ring. The through the cell into the ring was an accident. That was not supposed to happen. The cell door broke loose. That is why it looks like he landed directly on like no part of the ring that broke away. I believe Mick Foley has stated that knocked him right the fuck out. He did not wake up until like 10 minutes later. And I think he also is like, I don't remember the rest of that match. But yeah, there's that. And, throwing him off the top of the cell onto an announce table. Yeah, but both of those would count as attempted murder. And Taker was not DQ'd for either one of those. Fuck off, WWE. You dumb company, you. Anyway, we're doing some more Fourze this week, but I saw something on Twitter during Clue that are some very interesting stats, considering some of the female leads of various Nintendo and Nintendo-related properties.
Okay.
It is height. So, would you like to take a guess on how tall Princess Peach is?
You know what? How tall?
She is 6'1".
I would have overshot that.
Yep. Samus?
I was fixing to say... Wait, how tall is Mario's cannon height?
5 something, I think? I don't remember.
I think, isn't it like 5'7" or something like that?
Yeah, I believe it's 5'7".
Peach is taller than him in most games by a good shot.
Yeah, you want to know who gets...
I don't know if I believe that one.
Well, that does put Peach taller than him.
Yeah, but not as much as it looks.
Oh, don't worry, there's another one. Would you like to take a guess on how tall Rosalina is?
I'm wanting to say it is like almost 8 foot, or it might be 8 foot something kind of deal.
7.5.
Yeah, because I think I remember I forgot what video it was, but it was one on the Game Theorist channel that they actually had calculated that.
Probably like, Rosalina's parentage.
That's one of those that is stupidly tall.
Oh, but there is someone in a Nintendo-related property that is 8 foot tall. They are in Smash. It's Bayonetta, who's 8'2". I
now
never
how
really.
was that one figured?
I don't know. I don't know the origin of these.
Because when you start dealing with characters that are technically outside of, in this case, the Mario universe, then you would have to actually look at their universe. You couldn't compare them with Smash. You see what I'm getting at there?
Yeah.
So that one I have to be the one to be like, where did that answer come from? Because I don't know if I buy that. The others, yes, I completely buy because they're all in the same universe. If you did compare them to Mario's canon height, that might work out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bayonetta's the one I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to find official information, and like, it's not that tall apparently, but
I mean, short of breaking out the pixel ruler and trying to figure out all of that, I mean, I don't buy that though.
no. Oh, the Discord is breaking on me for some reason.
Then it's breaking on you because I'm getting good connection.
I know, that's why I said it was breaking on me. Hang on. See if just a quick reconnect will work.
Probably not. I don't know.
I tried looking her official height, and apparently everyone has 5 million fucking answers for it, so I don't fucking.
I mean, she does seem like she would be pretty tall even without the heels kind of deal. But I can't see that big of a difference kind of deal.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna restart Discord then. 'Cause it broke again, so give me a second.
Okay. You done breaking Discord yet?
Yep, I'm back. Is it?
Are you done breaking Discord yet?
Yes, maybe? Hopefully?
No, probably not.
We'll find out. Discord's freezing for some reason.
That's weird.
Yeah, because I can see it freezing. Up. Hello?
I never left.
Okay. I just had another Discord window open. I thought Discord like logged me out, but no, it was a different Discord window. for some stupid reason. I thought I closed that before it launched.
Apparently not.
No? Okay. Alright, maybe everything is gonna be fine. No.
Probably not.
Anyway, aside from Nintendo Heights, we got 4 episodes of Fourze to talk about this week. Episodes 9 through 12. And we were already talking about 01 pre-show wise, so if you want to hear us talk about 01, check the end of the pre-show. Anything else you want to talk about from 01 this week?
No, I can't really think of anything.
Alright then.
Well, okay, I do know one thing we didn't mention. The fact that we actually have a little more understanding about Naruto's dad.
Yeah.
I say a little more because there's still something hiding.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit closer.
Also, I'm a little annoyed that people are like, where are the progress keys coming from? And I'm like, specifically AIM's progress keys, and I'm like, I mean, we did have that in just that other company, Zaya, that was on the map. And we know Fourze is a part of Zaya because of the transformation in the scans. Granted, I guess if you don't see those scans, you don't know that.
Which, for that, I'm going to say is a little bit of a short side of the show, but at the same time that I say that, I'm also sitting there thinking, okay, we did actually within the show get, I can't remember who said it, but I'm wanting to say they stated that some of the equipment was seized because of Daybreak Town.
It's the same guy. It's the same guy who keeps pooping out progress keys for AIMs.
I mean, who's to say they're not testing them to make sure it's not going to do something bad and then giving it to them?
Yeah.
That's probably not the case. We probably have a slightly less crazy Ganem on our hands here, but
slightly less crazy, except someone did bring up that Fourze uses both progress keys and Zetsumo Rise keys.
Oh boy. We get round two.
Yeah, he's using both of those. I wonder if he might be behind Mitsumo Jinrai too.
I swear, if we get another, and I'm just gonna say it as this, if we get another godlike figure in this, we so need the battle of Ganem versus whoever this is.
Yeah,
just because that would be the funniest thing.
Oh god, memes versus shadow person we still don't know who the fuck is. All we have is a voice. God damn it. I didn't even think about that until someone brought it up. I'm like, fuck, you're right. Shit, he might be behind, or at least partially responsible for Zetsubo Jinrai then.
I mean, if he is supposed to kind of be the same kind of mentality as Ganem, then it could be that he's actually supplying both.
Entirely possible at this point.
Essentially trying to start a war.
Yeah. I also love the various headcanons people are giving for Fua punching the bullet. Like, the one I really like is that he doesn't know how it works, so he keeps punching it because he thinks that's how it works, even though it doesn't, and Yua hasn't told him otherwise.
Yes. And I will not be able to watch it the same way anymore now.
And also that Yua has not authorized him to open up the progress keys because she likes that the fact that he just pops it open. It's just like, I enjoy you struggling to open up these goddamn progress keys. I'm still not going to authorize you.
Oh. I kind of like that too.
It's what you get for being a belligerent idiot every time we have a conversation, so have fun.
But anyway.
Yep. 01 is still really good. I probably will be picking up a good bit of the Soto stuff because I like the form changes. I'm still really curious how they'll do the Vulcan and Valkyrie form changes. Because right now, how they have Vulcan designed is that the arm with the blue wolf stuff on pops off, and so does the leg. And that's like a separate box from the main body. But since the forms are symmetrical, I'm wondering if they have a different body for the form changes.
Huh.
I kept thinking that like they showed in Zero in like the first wave, but not. And now I'm thinking, okay, maybe second wave, because they've shown Flaming Tiger for second wave. Valkyrie is definitely second wave. If they'll probably show her next week on the blog, which leaves us 2 slots open, and I think it would be like the Ice Bear form we're getting next week, and I assume Punching Kong to round out the 4 figures. Because I think that would catch us up. I'm trying to make sure it would catch us up, because it should catch us up. Because the first one has Hopper, Falcon, Shark, and Vulcan. Yeah, that would catch us up because there's not another form change, right?
Yeah, there's not.
Okay.
The only other potential could be Jin's form, but that might be too new kind of deal.
I think Jin and Hirobi will be set 3. That way you get them both at the same time. Because you'll get Jin, you'll get Hirobi, and then you'll get like 2 other form changes of some variety or something else. Or like 2 other figures. Like you'll get like Lightning Hornet for Valkyrie, and then I think Vulcan has another form change before he gets his Assault Trigger. I think. I might be wrong on that.
I don't know. I've kind of been sitting back just watching the show for what it is rather than trying to pay attention to all the scans and everything too.
Yeah. I can't help but think.
I think part of that is because I want to see what the show can do.
Yeah. I clicked on the wrong person. Because it's like, oh yeah, Breaking Mammoth. Breaking Mammoth should be this week at some point. Or not this week, this month. Because I think, yeah, the episode previews hint at it. And the Zetsubo driver went up for pre-order on Premium. And it comes with the Dodo and the Mammoth Zetsubo Rise keys. No, he doesn't. I thought he did. So he just goes from these 2 to his Assault form. Huh.
Hold on.
I thought he had another one before he got the Assault Trigger. Anyway. 01's good. It's really good. If you haven't watched it, I suggest watching it and catching up. It's a really good show. I'm happy we have good writer.
Yeah, already the beginning of this show is better than all of Geo was.
Yeah.
Granted, that's not saying much, but yeah.
competent storytelling and character work, and that's all you really need. Anyway, we will hit Fourze for this week. Like I said, 9 through 12, debuting October 30th, November 13th, 20th, and 27th of 2011. Our last little bit of episodes. We have 2 more episodes technically before Megamax actually happens in canon, but that's paired with 2 more episodes, so we're pretty much covering all of the, essentially, I think the December episodes before we hit Megamax. Which means next week you get introduced to Garen. Or not Garen. Depends on how you take a net movie as canon.
Depends on how the show takes the net movie.
The show does not acknowledge the net movie. The net movie is more or less a joke because the guy playing, I think it's the principal next week and going forward, is Garen's actor. And in the net movies, they make a joke that, oh, it is in fact Garen's character. He's got roped into this without knowing it. But the show does not acknowledge that. He's not Garen. It's just a funny thing they did for the net movies when they still did net movies. They don't really do that anymore. Because the net movies were essentially the 0.5 specials, except they were just for the movies, so it'd just be a series of series of sketches for the movie. But anyway, ready to get rolling into the episodes?
I guess so.
Alright, we're going to kick off with episode 9, Witch's Awakening. We kick off with Yuki and Gentaro racing the school because it gets the blood flowing, I guess. They're not late or anything. For all intents and purposes, they're like on time and probably early. Yuki ends up actually winning the race because I guess she was faster today. Kingo, who sees all this, thinks it's dumb. Which, to be fair, he's kind of got a point.
Yep.
Neither one of you are running late. Why are you running? Calm down. Tomoko, who's also nearby this, also finds it dumb and pointless because she has a book about witches and the moon. And it says the world's going to end in 2021. And this is where Kengo kind of explains Tomoko's like niche in the school hierarchy, where she's a goth. She's like oddball person, which, to be fair, they're all oddballs in their own way. So she's the most overt of the oddballs.
Yeah, they're all oddballs in their own way, as Gentro points out later.
Yep. Gentro's ready to be friends with her, but the thing of cicadas that she has in a bottle around her neck it freaks him out a little because bugs do in fact scare Gentro. This is when the trio of other witches, I didn't write down their names. The only one who's really important is the leader. The other 2 are more or less goons. They show up.
We later find out controlled goons at that.
Yeah.
So super not important.
But they show up and Tomoko tags along with them. After she gets a little bit too close and a little bit creepy with Yuki. I don't know why she keeps doing this. This is like the second time that she's done this to Yuki.
Yep.
They also get potentially cursed because it just starts piss pouring rain on them.
Which to this I've got to say, that's actually not something that can happen based off of this. The switch for this arc, am I correct on that?
Oh, what, fire?
No, the just random rain.
Oh, yeah, no.
So
No switch has random rain.
So pure coincidence.
Yeah. Also, Kengo has fire because we're up to 20 switches already in play. I think we have all 20 at this point in play. I have not tried to keep track of that.
I've not tried to keep track of that, actually.
What's hilarious is that we were going to hit 20, and it's going to take us, like, 20 episodes. They're like, no, not 20, like, 10 plus episodes to hit 30, when we practically went back-to-back to 10, from 10 to 20.
That was going to be the thing I was going to complain about, because I saw that coming, actually. Why did we have the need to do this?
I don't know. We needed to crank out the switches because that's when the product was moving.
Yeah, but I'm sure it doesn't do it, but I almost feel like this is the exact same thing that Ghost wound up falling victim to. Is trying to pump out the toy too quick.
Well, the good news is only like 4 of the switches are important because those are the form changes. The rest of them are just like random switches that have a point, but only for the episode, and then we can just kind of push them off to the side.
That's why I said that Ghost fell victim to this.
Yeah, because unfortunately all of theirs had to be important.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know
also,
what's weird? I feel like with Fourze, fire and magnet states, I honestly feel like I haven't seen as much. Like, it's one of those, I feel like I've seen Cosmic enough, and I feel like I've seen Alec enough. But it's like those two, which is weird, because they're the middle there.
Well, it helps that, like, Cosmic is final form. Alec States is the first upgrade, so they both have relative importance. Like, but Magnet should have more...
Yeah, I would think Magnet should have more importance. I could see Fire States, especially as quick as it's brought in behind Elect States. I could see Fire States just being one that gets swept under a rug really quickly. But, yeah, Magnet States, like,
which is a shame.
I feel that should be a little bit more important to where it'd be like, okay, even if you haven't watched the show, you'll probably at least recognize the forms.
Yeah. Because I'm sure people will have recognized, like, Tajador from O's, even if you've not seen O's. Because it's like, oh, that's popped up enough in other media.
Right. You might not know
I know the bird
reasoning
form
behind it, but you at least would be able to be like, oh, yeah, I know that form, if you saw it.
Yeah.
And
I just find it funny
like
because...
those two with Fourze, I'm like, I really don't.
It's also funny because they're both the gun forms. Fire States with its fire extinguisher gun, and Magnet States with its literal electromagnetic fuck-off gun.
Then I wonder if that's the reason.
Probably.
Because that would make more sense then.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that... We see fire. We'll get to fire. Actually, in the first episode of these two, not the second episode, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
we don't...
like, when we saw the switch, I was thinking, okay, well, that'll be the concluding, and then it was like, wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
why did we have so much trouble with the other one, but this one it's just like, oh nope, I can use it right now.
Because they didn't know how the form changes worked, but now that they know how they work, like fire is easy because it's just fire. Don't worry, Magnet States will have its own different issue since it's 2 switches.
Oh, I can imagine.
And also Cosmic for one thing, but also another thing that is hilarious that the toy actually reflects, and I love it. Because it fits with Gentaro's, with a thing of Gentaro's that is subtly implied here, but I don't think happen, like you really understand it until that part. Anyway, that's our cold open. Coming out of it, we're back at the Rabbit Hutch. We're testing out some new switches, like Flash, which is just a giant light bulb that Gentaro tries to blind himself with.
It's a giant light bulb attached to the end of his arm.
Yep.
Not the end of his hand, no, the end of his arm.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna be upfront. All of the switches are supposed to have a theming thing to them in continuity. I don't buy it for some of them. But okay, sure. Also, I think the wiki tries to go, alright, all of the switches apply to some scientific principle or some scientific related thing. And I'm like, you are probably stretching for all of these. These are all here probably because that's what we designed and we needed 40 of these. So we cranked them out real quick. Because like I said, we have Magic Hand twice.
Yeah. Yeah, when you technically duplicate, that kind of deepens it a bit.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, the group's talking about the witches of the school and all the various rumors swirling around them of strange incidents happening around them to people that get on their bad side. Like soda cups exploding and stuff.
And shout outs to everyone just believing it's some kind of witchcraft and not that it could actually be, you know, anything related to the thing they're trying to stop.
There's totally not a Zodiac involved. It must be magic. And I'm like, you know, I feel like Ultimatum's calling back to these episodes because they have a thing kind of related to these episodes. And I'm like, fuck me sideways. This is... Okay, no, that makes sense in context now. Because it's weird and odd until I watch these episodes. I'm like, no, that makes sense now. It's still weird, but it makes a little more sense. Gentaro still has a good feeling about Tomoko, of her being a nice person, so he's still going to try to befriend her. And then Yuki decides to go to that little witch meeting she's been invited to, and Gentaro and Kengo tag along because
I think it was actually Gentaro's idea to go to begin with.
Yeah, Gentaro tags along and he drags Kengo along because he doesn't want to be alone. When we cut in, we see them subtitled by TV Nihon. It's saying mystical gibberish. Except, here's the thing. It's technically not mystical gibberish. Like, let me pull it up here. If I can type. Apparently I can't type.
Typing's hard.
Yeah. And I'm sure this note is supposed to be a whack at TV Nihon for saying it's mystical gibberish, but okay. 2/3 of this are actually translated. The first part is Japanese. My part. The Burja de la Luna is Spanish, but the last part is untranslatable, and I tried to run it through Google Translate through about like 12 languages, and none of them worked.
Huh.
But like the first two parts make sense because they're referencing the witches and the moon and stuff.
Right.
Here. Oh, weird. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you there.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm going to defend TV Han on a couple of these points. One, it's still a garbled mess of words from different languages to make it sound fancy. Two, I don't know how this is translated in the captions or in scripter stuff, but I'm sure hearing this doesn't help because they kind of blend everything together after a while. I honestly didn't know what the fuck they were saying until I read this note, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense now. And in 3, it doesn't fucking matter. It is still mystical gibberish. It is a fucking made-up magic spell. It's okay. That's the entire point of it. It is a made-up dumb magic spell. And apparently it's used for everything. We don't have different incantations or anything. Nope, it's just one spell for everything.
Yeah, which that doesn't tip off anything.
Yeah. Anywho, Yuki gets some dust of some sort dumped on her that's apparently supposed to make her pretty. It doesn't work. This is when Kingo's like, oh god, I want out. I'm leaving. But like, it's like, no, I want to talk things out with Tomoko. Stay, please. I don't want to be alone. Which I'm sure is his exact thought. Please do not leave me alone with the witches. This is when Tomoko apparently feels that something is interfering with the spell and manages to pull fire blind out of all of Gentro's pockets that have also other switches in them that he just has on him.
Because apparently he's a walking switcher.
Apparently. After they find out the two, him and Kengo are tossed out, but now Kengo's actually interested because it's like, huh, she picked fire without knowing that it is an important and valuable switch. She might actually have something. I need to know now. But now, with no interference, the spell works and Yuki gets pretty for like a half second in a mirror before it turns off. So I guess there is magic, except not, because we conveniently don't see the leader on screen when it happens, and then she walks back on screen after it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, one of the members who was a part of the swim team but then got bullied off of it wants revenge on the swim team members, and she causes a whole big old whirlpool of water. And everybody runs away at the fact that, oh fuck, it is tornadoes of water. Run, they're being caused by this one student. Run, please. So everyone runs except for Kengo, Gen, and Yuki. Which Kengo tells Gen, hey, transform and get her to calm the fuck down. Which I love that the first time Gentro transforms this entire episode, I think like a quarter of the way through, is to try to calm this girl down in the dumbest way possible.
Well, I mean, is there any other way?
Yep. But yeah, things aren't going well for Gentro after he transforms, even with shield, which, yes, there is a shield switch. But Gatling apparently helps by scaring the shit out of her.
For the half a second.
Yeah. Which, Gentro, why are you using gun? Gun's not gonna help here. God damn it.
Shield and gun.
Also, this is the point I was referring to, because I believe Gentro does not know English. Shocker, I know, but I'm sure he didn't know what that switch was when he put it in there. Even if Kingo told him, it's like, oh, it's Gatling. It's like, okay, that's a word.
Oh, okay. I could agree with you on that. I won't agree with you on that because they test the switches.
True. Maybe they didn't test this one yet.
Maybe, but I doubt it. And I say that because in the next arc, Kingo actually tells Gentro that the switch that he grabbed hadn't been tested yet. So I think he wouldn't have just openly let him use it.
Probably. Anywho, after the student is momentarily scared, pissless at a fucking Gatling gun being shot at her, she continues to attack Gentro with water, but the break does give Gentro a chance to be tossed burgeroid by Kendo, so he can use camera, which is just a literal camera on his arm, so that he can record footage to be analyzed to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Because apparently the Fourze driver uses camera far better than our little burger friend.
Apparently. But they only get so much footage before she runs off, and then our group is taken in by Usugi and Sonata, and Usugi blames them for the whole mess of the situation. They're like, no, we didn't do it, a witch did it, which is the most convincing thing in the world at this point. But they do get away as Usugi expresses his terrible opinions of women.
Yeah.
Thanks, Usugi.
Yeah.
God damn it. This is why you can't get a date.
Well, that and other reason, but yes.
Yep. Later on the day, Jake takes Gen to a magic shop, and they find Tomoko shopping. She delivers a bit of exposition about the book and how she met the leader, and also slips in what her desire is, and that's to leave the planet because she has no place to go on the planet, apparently. Outside, the other witches drop by and they get Tomoko to fly. So she's on board now that, she can use magic, apparently.
Yes, so she can use quote-unquote magic.
Quote-unquote, yeah. So the other goon, the next day, works with the other two to get their revenge. Which, as it turns out, as BU informs us, is she used to be on the cheerleading squad, wasn't that good, got dumped by one of the football players, and now she wants to fucking set him on fire, I guess, as we'll see. Which, also, Shun gets caught up in all this as he tries to, make the guy be better about the whole situation. But Shun and this guy get tossed into the locker room, and the locker room gets set on fire. Extremely set on fire, mind you. More than they were expecting.
Well,
but that's
apparently momentarily more than they were expecting, because then after that, they were like, yeah, okay, they can die.
Yeah, especially when the leader comes in. It's like, it's fine. We wanted to do damage like this. But that's when the team arrives, and this is when BU is like, wait, Shun's in here? Oh, fuck, damn it. Ah, stupid idiot. But Gentaro heads in to help. Base States is not proving well, but Fire States will with its fire extinguisher gun. I cannot express enough that it is literally a gun that is a fire extinguisher. Well, half of it's a fire extinguisher. The other half shoots big fireballs.
Yeah. And I have to wonder, why did we have to have a state that did both?
Because it can?
But I mean, why couldn't we have just, had a fire extinguisher switch?
Because we already have a freezer switch. We can't have a fire extinguisher switch.
But we can have two magic hands?
Yes. We can have two magic hands. We can have a literal skateboard, a helicopter, a claw, a pen, a pogo stick. I can't think of any others at the moment. I remember too many of fucking Fourze switches, probably because I've had to look through the goddamn list for Minecraft recently.
Multiple times.
Yes. So it's just like, fuck me. No, these are all the switches in here. Why? Oh, and it's a snowboard, not a skateboard. Did I say skateboard?
I think you might have.
No, it's a snowboard. Oh, and shit, what's the name of it? The little two-wheeled thing you can ride around the town that like you lean back and forth on to like make it go forward and backwards.
Oh.
Segway.
Okay. I was gonna say
a Segway. Yeah, Segway as well. Anyway, Gentaro puts the fire out, which has not a whole lot of smoke, which I don't know why they're coughing because there wasn't that much smoke in the room. So yeah, Gentaro saves the guys, but now he has to fight the witch Zodiart because she showed up and oh look, she's the one behind all the magic bullshit that's been going on, as Kengo reveals as he arrives. He does his best, but he's a bit outmatched at the moment. And we end with Scorpio showing up and going, "Hey, Tomoko, you want to switch? Do you want to become like her? Huh? I love how in broad daylight this one is.
Yeah.
That takes us to episode 10, Moonlight Clash. Our cold open is extremely short with just Gentaro fighting the monster again, but it's too strong and it just leaves with Tomoko. Coming out of it, the leader ends up taking the switch away from Tomoko to store it away until she's ready. And our team regroups. The team ends up getting in trouble. Just the main three. Not Miyu. No, she's not in trouble even though she was there. They get in trouble once more, but Sonata bails them out. And that's when the group of witches actually drop by through the hall, and they scare the piss out of everybody, including Usugi, who's here as well. But they do note that Sonata is a really good teacher and like one of the good ones. Mm-hmm. That's not a plot point for later.
Oh,
like
that
later.
Plus what happens in the next arc.
Yeah. I
also have to say, called it.
Yeah. I was about to say, I knew who Scorpio was, so I was wondering if you would pick up on who Scorpio was before they kind of blatantly spell it out of, oh look, she's Scorpio. Spoilers.
That was one of those, I'm like, she is far too important with the way they keep dropping her in so many of these scenes. And then after watching this, it's like, yep, I knew it. It was just figuring out why.
Yep. Anyway, we're back at the rabbit hutch, and the team is brainstorming what the next attack will be. And that's when Gen decides to talk things out with Tomoko, and drops by her place with Yuki. And I love how Tomoko's mom is all happy that Yuki's here. So it's like, oh yes, a normal person that she's friends with. And then Gentaro walks in, and it's like, god damn it, she's friends with some like hooligan. No. They check out her room where she really likes bugs. Like, lots and lots of bugs. But the whole scenery and stuff helps things click for Gentaro, which I do like that Gentaro just has a way with figuring people out, and all he needs is just the right information.
Well, I mean, how else is he going to be friends with everyone if he can't figure out what makes people tick?
Yeah. Like, it was a joke on one of the... I think it was Henshin Justice Unlimited on their podcast, where they had a joke of, if Gentaro was in Fourze, he would solve everything in 5 seconds, because the show was notorious about its miscommunication between everybody. And if you literally dropped Gentaro in that show, he would be like, let's see, you're an asshole, you're a nice person, maybe you should stop listening to this person. He would literally solve every conflict in 5 seconds. Because he's just that damn good at reading people. But as everything clicks, we see Tomoko minus makeup and stuff, just kind of normal, and she kind of freaks out that they're here and runs. So Gentaro and Yuki give chase. And that's when they manage to track her down to some like underground hallway alley of some sort that has a drainage ditch, I think. I think that's what it was supposed to be.
I think so. And I'm also wanting to say that we have seen that same area. I'm wanting to say it was in O's.
Probably.
So again, another tally for that whole location bingo board.
Yeah. But she tries to put some of the mud on her face to kind of cover up so he doesn't see her normal self. But Gentaro decides, okay, I'm taking the drastic approach. Transforms, uses rocket, drags her off to Rabbit Hutch, like, gets her into an astronaut suit and just drags her off onto the moon. To show her, like, yo, there is nothing here. There is literally nothing here. Like, it's not better. It's actually worse because it's cold and empty and no one lives here. But that, plus a talk with the whole club going around talking about their flaws and stuff, help sit home for Tomoko that, like, she doesn't need to force a change. It's okay that she is how she is. I think the big important part is the takeaway is that it's okay to, like, you need to be comfortable with who you are. Like, it's okay is the most important part. It's just, it's okay. And I think hearing those words is, like, I don't think she's ever really heard those words before.
Yeah.
But with this really touching scene, especially since Gentaro, like, you really see the real Gentaro. Like, not the goofy one, but, like, the one who's probably seen people like Tomoko before and befriended them and helped them, like, impart a bit of wisdom, a bit of friendship wisdom. Because that's what Gentaro has, is friendship wisdom instead of a herd wisdom. Yeah, this lets Tomoko like temporarily join the group for a minute. This is not her official joining, to help like stop all the witches from literally burning the school to the ground, because that's their plan. She takes them to the classroom from before, or to a classroom from before, because that's where she thinks the spell's happening. But it's not, and it's a trap. And then the whole club gets tied up, and the other two witches end up escorting Tomoko up to the rooftop to do the spell. But Tomoko fakes being with them long enough to just grab the staff from the witch Zodiac and just book it. Which I love that the staff sticks around even though she de-transforms.
Yeah.
Just like, why didn't it disappear with it?
Yeah, because apparently it comes out of a pocket dimension.
Yeah.
Meaning it can exist outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of funny. Because I think that's the first time we've actually seen that happen so far.
Yeah. But as Tomoko runs, the two goons give chase, and the main one, who's been the Zodiac, ends up, her switch goes last one. And she gives chase as Gentro just literally just breaks out of the ropes he's tied up in because he can. Although he could have waited like 3 seconds for Kingo to get Scissor Spot out and start cutting the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
So the group makes their escape. Tomoko unfortunately gets cornered by the Zodiac and her goons, but Gentro makes the save with his untransformed rider kick, essentially. And that's when Tomoko gets to officially join the club, because you know someone is officially Gentro's friend when he does the handshake with them. If you haven't noticed by now in the show, whenever he does his handshake, that denotes, you are my friend, we are best buds.
Yeah.
And for the point, and for essentially of this arc, it's the mark of, you're in the club now. That's when Gentro transforms, fights off the Zodiac, but the other witches are flying about, causing issues until Shun shows up in the Paradiser, dunks them into a fucking blanket that the other club has, and they rip off the necklace. So it's like, you don't get to fly around anymore. So when Gentaro goes elect states to try to fight off the witch, but the witch then tries to store the staff to do the spell, and Shun has to go catch it, break it, once more doing the save. Paradiser gets to do so much work in these early episodes.
And I feel like that'll be something that we'll be missing after a little while.
Yeah. Poor Paradiser in the group with the rest of the CGI giant mech stuff that just gets retired after a while because we run out of budget to do anything with it. This is when Gentaro goes fire states, but he's still on the back foot because the witch just has a big flaming, like, a big tower of fire coming out of her head that he's just slapping around with. That's when Kingo asks Tomoko for help and try to like feel out like what they need to do, and she just points out, you know what, Gentaro's not losing this fight. He's fine. And that's when Kingo busts out the briefcase and it's like, wait a minute, the switch is absorbing the fire. Oh, Gentaro, stop blocking. You literally have fire elements. You're just absorbing fire. Just walk towards her. So that's when Gentaro just absorbs all the fire, kicks her butt for a little bit, blows her up with the gun, destroys the switch, and the day is saved. Next day, we see Gin, Yuki, and Tomo are the ones doing the racing now. And Tomoko and again race to a lake. And we see that Tomoko throws that extra Zodiac switch into the lake, which Kengo was going to research. So you don't get to move the needle on the status quo just yet, Joe. Sorry. And for this, the two of them end up in the lake as a goof. And that's these 2 episodes. So what do you think? Tommy? Hello? Hello? Discord? Discord, no. Hello?
Hello.
Alright, what did you think of these 2 episodes?
I feel like that was a good introduction for her altogether there.
Yeah. I like that, like, oh yeah, no, her whole magic telepathy thing, I guess, is actually real. I don't know how much it's called upon later, but it's real. Yeah, it's a nice 2 episodes, and like gets us our last club member before we have to do the official introduction of our last member for the next 2 episodes. So are you ready for them?
I guess so.
All right, we kick that off with episode 11, Disappearing Moon Door. We start off with Yuki shirking off the astronomy club of all one person who's got way too much goddamn time and not enough sense to back the fuck off, and drowning her in love letters and Valentines and all this other garbage. Fuck's sakes, man. Somebody needs to sit you down and have a conversation. But that's when she leaves, but we see that this guy's gonna be the Zodiac this week. Oh joy. Checking into the rabbit hutch, we see the rest of the club just hanging out, and we get the introduction to Everoid. So yes, we do have an Eve to our Wall-E. In this case, it's a milkshake. Or a soda, or whatever you want to call it. We see that Kengo's just kind of in a bad mood, because he just wants to work, and everyone's just fucking about. As normal. Ken tries to invite him to hang out, but it doesn't work. So he just takes the case with the rest of the switches, and just leaves Kengo to just do whatever he wants. Yuki tries to enter the room with the locker, but Sugi catches her there, and now she's got to explain like why she's there and what's the deal with the locker. That's her cold open. Coming out of it, she writes off the locker as some old junk that needs to be thrown away because it was Sonata's and she wants it thrown away. So she's just doing what Sonata says. Thankfully, that little detail will save their asses later. Yuki does try to shoo him out because saying it's Sonata's only makes him want to open it up more. But that's when Shun arrives with the save by saying, oh, yeah, she needs some help over there, elsewhere. That's not here. So shoo. So Asuki's away, and that's when the group kind of, I guess, splits up from here from their original plans, and Gentaro and Yuki head off to... I did not realize that this was actually Japan's NASA. Like, I think that's actually their building. And probably their actual museum. And this is when we get Yuki's motivation, essentially, that she wants to get to space on her own without the use of space magic. Which, I love how the last 2 episodes had Kengo continually denying magic, even though he literally deals with space magic every day. And this is when we find out that old Red Eyes that we've been seeing forever, who's kind of behind the whole Zodiac situation, is some famous scientist who also helped build and fund the school. Well, that certainly explains a lot. This is a thing with Geo, with its whole timeline thing, which I probably have gotten into before, so we'll skip over it. Anyway, the two end up leaving JAXA, but they're confronted by the Zodiac, and Gentaro fights it, and he's a jobber and a fucking half, so he's kind of getting jobbed out clean. Until we find out that, until we see that when Kingo tries to leave the rabbit hutch, the door's gone. There's no door. He's kind of stuck. But so this little distraction lets the Zodiac get away, and now the group has to kind of like split up and try to figure out where the fuck the locker went. They end up finding out from Masugi it got taken to a junkyard, but they don't know which one and by what group, what companies, so they're at a kind of a dead end. Kingo checks in, and we get a little flashback to how the door got created. Kingo got himself a package with a totally not launcher switch that he ended up turning on, tossing in a locker when Yuki dropped by, and that created the pathway to the rabbit hutch. And that's also when him and Yuki met. But this whole flashback also shows us that Yuki has a kind of a long-standing relationship with Kingo. So she, seeing all this situation, decides to take it on herself, makes a deal with our Zodiac friend to, I guess, shirk off the club and just stay in the astronomy club if he helps her find the locker. Which he does take her to where it is, but he plans on destroying it because he doesn't like Yuki anymore and he's gonna be an asshole. But that's when Gentaro arrives with the rest of the club. They try to take the locker back as Gentaro fights the Zodiac, except the Zodiac starts swinging Gentaro around with his telekinetic powers, I guess. And unfortunately, Gentaro tries to use rockets on him, which doesn't work, and they get redirected into the locker, and the locker goes boom, and it's destroyed, potentially permanently stranding Kingo on the moon. Which takes us to episode 12, Mission Ken's Life. Gentaro tries fighting the Zodiac once more, but all of his shots are being redirected towards the club now, so the guy just gets a chance to run, and he does. Kingo is very upset about all of this, of course, because he is now stuck on the moon with I don't know how many supplies to actually, stay alive. I'm not sure if they have food there. And that's our cold open, which our opening now has Megamax. How'd you like your first peeks of Megamax? Sorry? Hello? Hello? How'd you like your first peeks of Megamax? Since we got the first opening with it.
I feel like there's a lot that I don't know if I completely understand. But that's probably to be expected.
I'm curious which specific part.
Not so much the cores. I get that. Because,
okay.
It's happened again.
Yep.
More some of the facts of other writers showing up kind of deal.
Oh, so essentially Poseidon. I don't know if Aqua shows up in this opening, but Poseidon in the Neshko.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Nadeshiko is it's a weird little thing to unpack when we get to the movie. Anyway, coming out of the cold open, Gentaro decides to, let's just fly to Masigler to the fucking moon. But that doesn't work. He doesn't have enough power to get there. I guess that plus rocket won't be enough, even though he doesn't try rocket.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering why he didn't try rocket.
I'm guessing a rocket won't let him break orbit. Like, even if it did, it would.
Maybe he wasn't fully getting out of the Earth's gravity.
He gets out of it enough to float. Which is why I think he can't break orbit. That, or it would take too long. Like, it would take him like 5 million years. Plus, I don't know how they would get Kingo into re-entry. Because I don't think those astronaut suits are built for re-entry.
I doubt it.
Yep. Kingo checks in, and he's, of course, still understandably pissed. And he takes the flag down and kind of rants about the club for a little bit, because, yeah, the whole stress of being stuck on the moon's kind of getting to him. The team's backed into a corner, but Tomoko has an odd feeling about the whole situation. She's off to go investigate it. Meanwhile, Jake calls in to inform them that, oh yeah, this dude's fucked. He kind of has a whiteboard with all these different girls from the school and constellations. He also has this journal where he says he's going to stick a whole bunch of them on the bus and run it off a fucking cliff into a lake. So, this guy needs some therapy. Like, a lot of therapy. Checking in with Kingo real quick, we see he's kind of losing it a little. Just the whole existential dread of dying very slowly on the moon, alone. And it's kind of making him reflect on his dad being here alone and making the Fourze system, which I don't know if they ever talk about his ultimate fate in the series. Because we know he was stuck on the moon from the flashback. I don't know where he ends up dead. I don't remember that part, and I don't remember if the show even addresses that part. Because depending on your interpretation, it can get pretty fucked up at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we check in with Yuki real quick as she's going to pull a desperation move by talking to Asugi to try to talk to the chairman, Red Eyes, main bad guy. She gets a meeting thanks to Sonata, and she's practically ready to spill everything if it means getting a fucking probe to the moon that will pick Kingo's ass up and get him back to Earth. But Miyu manages to stop her before she says anything and takes her outside. Red Eyes and Sonata, Gamao, I could say his name officially now, Gamao, had a quick conversation before before Sonata leaves. So, if you didn't think she was Scorpio before, this is pretty much your, yeah, she's Scorpio. That's when we check in with the boys as they're off to try to intercept our Zodiac from his plans, but Scorpio decides to delay them, specifically Gentaro, for a while. So Scorpio and Gentaro have a fight. Miyu has a little heart-to-heart with Yuki because she's pretty stressed about the situation too, as she's about to lose her best friend to a very slow and painful death, and she really needs a hug. Unfortunately, after this, Miyu gets pulled away by the Zodiac in comical fashions, thanks mood change, as he starts rounding up the girls for his plan. Meanwhile, Gentaro manages to finally fight off Scorpio with fire states. So he's free. Checking back in, we see the girls are just shoved onto a bus and the Zodiac takes it and leaves. But Gentaro manages to arrive just in time to see the bus off and gives some reassurance to Yuki, who chased Miyu down, and try to impart that reassurance to Kengo, because they'll find a way, by God, somehow. Checking in with Yuki real quick, she manages to calm Go down a bit and get him in a better place mentally, because she doesn't want him to stress his unknown condition that's still a plot point. I don't think I've ever said that, but that's technically a plot point.
To be fair, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Back on the bus, Gentaro gets the Zodiarco's last one before Gentaro gets on the bus, pulls him away with winch and rockets so they can have a fight. And the team, mainly just Shun, with the power dizer, manages to stop the bus before it goes careening off an unfinished bridge. Miyu does try to stop the bus, but the brakes don't work. Well, they don't stop the bus. They're working, but they can't stop the bus. Kingo calls in to Gentaro, gives him the winning combo of use elect plus stealth to job this sucker out. So yeah, the Zodiarc's just beaten pretty clean in what has to be a nice moment for Gentaro of just, I get to beat the shit out of this stupid fucking jackass. Because, as nice as Gentaro is, he does have a bit of a I am pissed mood, like Edgy does, that he doesn't pull out often. And I feel like this fight is one of them where it's just oh, I get to fuck with this jackass. Good. I need this. Yeah, the group gets to call it a very long day at that. Although our very obsessed boyfriend guy is probably going to have a rough day as all the girls kind of surround him coming out of the bus. So he's going to probably be in the hospital for a while for very different reasons. Checking back in with Kengo, we see him plant the Kamen Rider Club flag on the moon as he's kind of pondering his place in the universe now. His very potentially not long place in the universe. But that's when Gentaro arrives to tell him, hey, the door's back. We find out that Tomoko put a little sign on the back of the door. It was actually the thing that she was drawing before they left in the first episode of this. And that told her that, oh, the locker that got blown up was not the real locker. And kind of working backwards, she found out that, oh, Wasugi kept the locker because of course he would, since it was Sonata's. So they just put it back because it was just one room down. But everyone shows up. We get a nice little official start to the club now. Kengo gets the friendship handshake, and we're good. Everyone's happy, and thus ends the 12 episodes of setting up our supporting cast. 12 episodes of supporting cast setup. So how'd you feel of these 2 episodes?
I felt like that was a good way to introduce him to finally accepting the club kind of deal. Yeah.
Getting your ass from being saving your ass from being stranded on the moon permanently. Yeah, I'm sure that'll win you over. It also helps that by now everyone's kind of found their role in the club. Shun works the powerdizer. Jake gets them info. Tomoko does telepathy stuff whenever they need it. Miyu also kind of helps with like info stuff and also kind of keeps them out of trouble.
And truthfully, kind of keeps the structure. Like, I feel like that's her more focal point.
Yeah, and also to shit talk Zodiarts with no plan on how to do anything about it.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, the only weird thing is kind of coming out of these 12 episodes you might notice is that, Yuki kind of doesn't have a role in the club, technically.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, that's a plot point 20 plus episodes from now.
Oh, dear God.
I think that comes around to be a plot point 20 some odd episodes from now, but anyway. Yeah, it's a nice 2 episodes. It's just so much setup for just the supporting cast. Like no other writer show does this, so it's so weird.
Yeah, because most of the time when it's a bigger like this, it's a case of they all are... And I'm not saying this to kind of downplay anyone, but they all are so much more important to just the plot of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm not saying it to downplay. I'm more saying look at Gaim. The cast there each had roles that were just as equivalent as one another. You take one out of the equation, you couldn't replace them as easy. And then you also see supporting casts like how we've got Drive, where it's pre-established and you're just doing development from there.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes this so weird. It's a case of they're more important to the plot than just most supporting casts, but at the same time, you're having to fully introduce them into it so that it makes sense.
Which eats up, like I said, 12 episodes of your initial series.
And that's bad when you take into account that that's a quarter of the season right there.
Yeah. A quarter of the season is, hey, here's everybody you're dealing with for the rest of the show. It's kind of no wonder that, like, we run through a plot point pretty quick at the end of the series. Like, pretty hard, where we're kind of back-to-backing a lot of the stuff when we kind of didn't to start with. Which kind of lessens the impact, unfortunately. Thankfully, Fourze kind of pulls it back around with a really good finale and a really good final boss fight. Like I said, if you've ever want to see your hero not only physically but verbally beat the crap out of your opponent, out of his main villain, this is your show, because that's what Gentro does at the end of the series. But yeah, any other thoughts?
No.
All right, then. Next week is our last batch of episodes before we get our movie break, I guess. I guess that's the way to put it, is the movie break. And we'll see the introduction of our principal, a return of one of our previous Zodiarts, and I forget what the other 2 episodes are. Like, that's just the first of the 2 episodes. Let me look. Come on. Oh, it's technically the Christmas episodes.
Ah.
Because I just see Christmas Eve choir, and I'm like, ah. So yeah, who's ready for Christmas?
I mean, still a little early, don't you think?
Not really. Those 2 episodes debut.
Being too literal.
Oh, okay.
That was more meaning the fact that, you know, it's gonna be like mid-October.
Yeah, yeah.
Dealing with Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not even a Halloween yet.
Joke's kind of lost when I have to explain it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
because I'm dumb. Because I'm dumb and I don't understand comedy sometimes. Yeah, that's our 4 episodes. We will technically be introduced to a character first before we get his early bird cameo in Megamax. We won't get a full introduction until after the movie, but he will show up like in the last episode of next batch.
So it'll be one of those we're getting to see the cameo before the early bird cameo kind of deal.
Yes, I forgot how he's like introduced in this episode. His full introduction is until after the Christmas episodes, I believe, because the next 2 episodes after the Christmas episodes, I believe, are his focus episodes. Because you'll be introduced to Kamen Rider Bruce Lee. And I mean that in a very literal sense. There is nothing about Meteor that does not suggest that, oh yeah, we totally, we're like, yes, we want Kamen Rider Bruce Lee. We are going to go all in on this. But anything else?
No.
All right, then. If you like what we're seeing, drop us a follow. We really appreciate it. We're working our way towards 200 follows, which is our next goal. I'm doing All Rider Revolution. Tommy is doing some Halo custom campaigns, which I'm really curious about because I didn't know those were things. This next week, you can expect the start of Traveler Senkai on Wednesday, Kamen Rider Traveler Senkai specifically. The continuation of Fire Emblem 3 Houses as we chip away at the second half of the game. Friday is no schedule's been updated yet. Us finishing Minish Cap.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday is Fortnite.
To be fair, the only thing that hadn't been updated was what you're doing Wednesday. Because I actually flat out derped.
Yeah. Yeah, Fortnite as we do the second to last day of the season.
It could be subject to change. That's not dead set yet.
Yeah. Because the season ends on Sunday. Because the event's on Sunday. Because I believe the current sentiment is that the event's going to happen and they're literally going to take the servers down, and season 11 starts immediately after that. Because everyone's expecting like a really revamped map, if not a new map. Because the last daily week of challenges extends through to Sunday. But anyway, that's what you can expect from us the next week before we come back around to watch those next 4 episodes of Fourze. So for Tommy, I'm Peace. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.